ever been feeling low? Don't know what to do. Everything seems upside down. Well, I have come to tell you that the just shall live by faith.
Welcome everybody to the Just Shall Live by Faith. We got a great show lined up for you all this evening. You better just fasten your seatbelt because this plane is about to shoot. We got with us this evening Pastor Sharon from Hope NYC. Pastor Sharon, did I tell you I love you?
I love you more.
I love you.
I love you more.
Welcome to the Just Shall Live by Faith.
Thank you so much for having me. And
yes.
Thank you guys for having
me. Now, who is Pastor Sharon? And can you describe who you are in just one sentence for me?
One sentence to describe me. I'm a woman warrior of God, determined to see the kingdom of God on earth before he comes back.
How long have you been saved?
I was born into a Christian home. And as unexciting as that seems, I was born into a new Christian home when my father had just converted from Hinduism. So it's about 40 years since I've known Jesus.
Oh, 40. A big one, 40. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Interesting to me. From Hinduism to Christianity.
Yes.
What was it like for you?
Well, my father was a Hindu god maker, and that was his profession. So to convert to Christianity meant he had no income. So growing up as a Christian, the first thing I came to understand was that Christianity probably meant poverty. Mm-hmm. Because in Hinduism, he had money, and in Christianity, it seemed like he had none. But what I grew to learn at an early age is that the joy that comes with knowing Jesus, once that's there, Amen. Whether you have or you don't have, whether you're in good times or bad times, whether you're depressed or you're on cloud 9, the joy of the Lord still remains your strength.
Yes, I get the transformation, but this is like, so interesting for me right now because I've never met someone who has, gone from that extreme to this extreme. And like you said, you thought that Christianity was, all poverty. And many of us thought that way because I'm coming from that kind of a lifestyle too, where I thought when I look at Christian people, I saw them as just being poor and always looking sad and cranky and beggy and I'm sorry guys. And so I thought, wow, why did I come into this? Have you ever wondered, on this journey that you're on now, have you ever been to the place that you said, why did I do this? Why did we do this?
There have been those moments, but never the moment when I questioned the correctness of what I'm doing for Christ. There have been moments I've wondered if the choice I made was the right one in Christ, but I've always been assured that the steps of a righteous person are ordered by God. And I think that's where Dad's poverty in those early ages really came home to me. Because, Judith, I don't know if you can identify, but even though we were poor, I didn't know that. My mama never let me feel like we were poor. Because we always were clean and we always were happy and I'm going to church and we're broke, but I still have a penny to put in the offering plate because Mom was teaching us the whole time that true wealth is not about the cash. True wealth is about being able to know that no matter what comes my way, he's on my side. And growing up, even in those days, and there were times in my past, even the recent past, where there's no food in the cupboards or there's no money in the bank. But it has not worried me because I've learned how to abound and how to be a beast. And yet in all those things, to be content, and that I think is what Christianity is. Peace is not about having no trouble. Peace is about having rest in the midst of the trouble.
Wow. As you were talking, the scripture that came to me is that a man's life is not consist in the abundance of things he possesses. So many of us look for satisfaction in material things, which is not there. And once we do that, we're going to be in trouble. Like what you said, that's when you are firm in God. That's when you know you are fully anchored in Jesus Christ. Wow. Now, you're a pastor.
Yes.
Yes, she's a pastor.
And
Pastor Sharon, I know you were never born a pastor.
No. I thought I was.
I know you were born. What were you doing before you became a pastor?
Well, if you go back to when I was 4 years old, I was pastoring. Because I grew up in a church building, so at 4 years old, I preached. And I tell the story all the time. I would start the service, and then I would sing, and pick up the offering, and testify, and then I would preach, and I would make an altar call, come up, get healed, lay hands on myself, fall out on the ground, and then dismiss the service. But before I was a pastor, I worked in the secular world. I was a marketing executive for an oil company.
Okay.
And then after that, I youth pastored for about 15 years.
Okay.
And until the call of the Lord to move to New York and plant Hope NYC Church.
Wow. Pastor Sharon, there will never be one person who can, sit and tell me that going on this journey of Christianity, it has been an easy one. Why did you stick to it?
What an awesome question. I stuck to it because I've seen the power of God. The real, I've not had secondhand views of the power of God, but I've seen God transform, and seen God heal, and seen God change, and seen God take the lowest of the low and give them so much hope. How could I not follow him? How could I not love him? How could I not commit all to follow him? I've seen what he did in my parents, in my family. I've seen what he did to us, and no, it has not been easy. Just the move to New York was crazy for us. My husband and I, we left a really good life in Houston where we lived, and great jobs with lots of money and a home and cars, and we packed up when God gave us the vision, and a literal vision, to move to this city. Of all the places in the world, this was the last place we wanted to be, Judith. If you know my husband, he's a country boy. He wants wide open spaces and sheep and things like that. You don't find that in New York. So when God said to move there, it was scary. And everybody I talked to said to me, New York will chew you up and spit you out.
Wow.
And even after getting here, people would tell me, even other ministers would say, what is a little girl like you going to do in a big city like this? The real estate agents would tell me, they said there is no space in New York. The only place to build is up. Well, I always tell my people, I know who's up.
Oh, that's a good one. So Pastor Joe, when they tell you the only place to build is up, that's a good encouragement right there.
That's really exciting for me.
Yes. Listen, we're going to be coming right back on the Just Shall Live by Faith. We will be right back.
When I am born, I am black. When I go in the sun, I am black. When I'm scared, I'm black. And when I die, I'm still black. And you white fella, when you're born, you're pink. When you go in the sun, you're red. When you're cold, you're blue. And when you die, you're gray. You cold me color.
For tickets to the Just Shall Live by Faith, email us at justliveby8@gmail.com or call us at 904-352-7369. We would love
Just shall live by faith.
Wow, before we took the break, I had to do that because, to be honest with you, I almost cried because I know to have faith, it's not easy. To stay in this on this journey called Christianity and say you trust God and say you love God and have to face the challenges in life that will come. You know, when they come sometimes it's as if to say they want to just take you out. But because you know in whom you believe and you're fully persuaded that he's able to do exceedingly above all that we ever ask or think, that's why we stay on this journey. Pastor Sharon, yes, you kind of break me a little bit. I had to break. They didn't see that, but I had to break. Because that transformation and the old thing that you had to come to adjust into a new life because God said go. There's so many people who when God said go, they don't want to go because they become so conformed to an environment that it's hard for them to step out. This is my question to you right now. I want you to tell me one of the greatest challenge you have had on this journey. Why did you stay? Why did you continue? Just talk to me. Just talk to me.
I think really for me personally, on a personal level, the most difficult thing to come to terms with was being female.
Wow.
And being female in a preacher's world, and being female in a city like New York. And when my husband and I moved here, for instance, we knew nobody. And we knew of people, but we had no connections per se. So we visited a real estate agent to try to find, my friend and I, we went to try to find space to have church. Because I knew why God sent me to New York.
Okay.
He sent me to New York to plant a church. So I tried to find space, and he laughed, the real estate agent.
Okay.
He took a check. I don't know if this is a New York thing, but he took a check out of his desk and shoved it at me. Yeah, and I looked at it and I said, what am I supposed to do? That was his paycheck. And he said to me, unless you're bringing in these kinds of dollars, you can't afford space in New York. So I gave him back his paycheck after I thought that was maybe like the, a very uncanny thing to do. And I said, we are looking for a place to have church. He said, how much money do you have? Well, I said, right now I don't have any, but I fully intend for that to change. If you could help me find the space, then I know how to pray. Okay. He laughed.
I would too.
You might have then.
Yes,
You wouldn't laugh.
yes.
You would say. But and we moved here into the Bronx, into a tiny little apartment, and it was just like the movies, I thought there might be roaches running out, and the first time I heard a loud noise, I hit the ground. All of New York I knew was on TV.
Yes.
And we walked the streets day and night, my friend Jody and I walked the streets trying to find a place that would let us have church. Coffee shops and delis and grocery stores, wherever, and everybody turned us down. One day we just started riding the subways, and for about a week and a half we rode the subway until God said to me, stop. He really did. I heard the voice of the Lord say, stop, on Lefferts on Liberty, stop. And we got off on that corner. And standing on the corner was a lady with a young child. And she looked so discouraged and forlorn. And I started talking to her, and she said, Sharon, it's me, Omi.
Okay.
And I said, okay. Now, this is New York City.
Set up.
At that particular junction, there are about maybe 5,000 people coming and going.
Yes.
And this one lady knows me.
Yes.
You're trying to tell me...
That's a setup.
No, really? You're trying to tell me that's not God?
That's a setup.
Okay, so Judith, I'm looking for a place to have church. I'm saying, God, show me. This place has boroughs. Show me which one I'm supposed to be in. So this girl asked me, she said, will you go to my house? She said, I knew your daddy. I went to his church 20 years ago. And then I came to New York and got lost. Got with the wrong guy. Got in a bad way. She said, I live right there. Could you just give me 5 minutes? And since we had nowhere to be, I said, sure. We went to her house, and she reached in behind her dresser and pulled out a wad of $1 bills. And she said to me, Sharon, I've been saving my tithe. And God said to me, when I meet my pastor, pay my tithe.
Getting chills.
Right there.
I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills because, wow, this is yeah, you are out. No, listen. Go ahead, Pastor Sharon.
Dude, that was just the first. That girl is still a part of Hope NYC Church.
Yes.
She's here today in the audience with us. But that was confirmation to me that New York was the place and Queens was the place. Was the place. And so we started having church in a tiny little studio, karate studio. And every Sunday we'd have to hide the idol and have church and then, release the idol.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was big and fat.
Okay.
Anyway. Whole team of law, And we outgrew that space. That space could hold maybe 30, 40 people. In a few weeks, we had too many. We found a living room. Some members of ours gave us a living room. When their living room could no longer hold the people, 50, 60 people, we found another studio. We called it the Igloo.
Okay.
Because it was winter and there was no heat. So we'd all wear gloves and scarves doing church. And when we clapped, it would go muff, muff, muff.
I love it. 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 Listen, we might be having fun right now, okay? But the truth is, God used the foolish things of this world to confound those who think that they are wise. And I believe right now this is one of those situations. You never know where God is going to show up.
Absolutely.
You never know who God is going to use. You never know which corner, which height, which depth, wherever he's coming from. But one thing you must be assured of, he's coming.
Yeah.
He's coming. Listen, we're going to take another break, and we're going to be coming right back. But before we even go, we love to give away stuff on this show. And when we come back, we're going to be giving you away some stuff.
Every day of our lives, we live in the fear of even walking near police cars, because we're afraid of their weapons they use each day towards us. We live in a world where it's best to be white and black ain't right. You see, history's just repeating itself. It's sad to see that police brutality and our cries and pleas that screams, Black Lives Matter, will be a part of our lives forever. They think they're doing us a favor, getting rid of our people. White fight against blacks with our backs against the wall, afraid that we'll just fall like they want us to.
To walk the journey of faith as a Christian. Anybody tell you it's easy? Trust me, it's a lie. But when you got Christ on the inside, the greater one on the inside, I'm telling you, you sail as if the wind is just carrying you. We've heard, from the beginning, Pastor Sharon, transformation and the journey. And I just want to continue because I know, in the island where I'm from, when we get our dinner, we usually love to leave the juiciest part of the food for the last, and that's the gravy with probably the dumpling and all of that. So, yeah, with the chicken, yeah, Pastor. So, Pastor Sharon, I want you to continue. Tell me more.
Well, we eventually found a space on Liberty Avenue where about 75 people could really fit, and we were having 2 services on a Sunday, because we had so many people coming after a while, and it wasn't easy. I remember most of the rent came from myself and my husband, because I worked a secular job while I preached, and our friend Jody, and we gave our tithe, we gave our offering, and we paid the rent. But we kept seeing miracles after miracles. God kept doing mighty things, and it was at the point where I was leading worship, I was preaching twice on a Sunday morning, doing both things. I was exhausted. And I began to pray for God to send me laborers, and he did. He sent Pastor Jude and Danielle, and he sent Pastor Danny and Sister Michelle, and people in my past, like for instance, my flower girl in my wedding 17 years before showed up in my church.
Wow.
I hadn't seen her for 17 years, and she showed up just when I needed a youth pastor.
Wow.
And that's what God had said. He said, you go because I've already prepared a way.
Right.
And if he said he'll prepare a way, he has prepared a way.
Can't lie. He can't lie.
He can.
Yeah.
And so we began to pray, 21 days, fasting and pray, for God to give us a bigger storefront. We said, God, we want 300 people to fit in
Yes.
one room.
Yes.
We want 4 parking spaces.
Wow.
To most people, that's not a big deal. In New York, that's a big deal.
Yes.
I said, I want 4 parking spaces, God. 1 for my car, 1 for the church van, and 2 visitors.
Wow.
Very specific. 21 days of fasting. On the 18th day, my drummer sends me a text message of a fantastic warehouse, a huge building on Rockaway Boulevard. And he sent a message and he said, Pastor, this kid is 18 years old. He said, wouldn't it be great if we got that building?
Okay.
And I laughed.
Okay.
But we still called to find out how much it was.
Okay. You did a Sarah, right?
Yes. Yes, I did. It was my faith process.
Yes.
$4.2 million is what
Okay.
they were asking for that building.
Okay.
And we had 2 more days of that fast. And, I just put it aside, but we were still asking God for that storefront. And on the 21st day of that fast at 1:45 in the morning, I'll never forget the time.
Talk
you know
to
why?
me. Talk
Because
to me.
Curtis was sleeping right there. That's my husband. And he was snoring. I'll never forget. The phone rang, and it was someone that really I did not expect to hear from. I preached at a church in another state sometime before, and she said, we need to have dinner. And when we met them that week, they flew into New York and met us for dinner and said, for 21 days, we have not been able to rest, my husband and I.
I love it.
She pushed a check across the table at me, Judith. And I
Talk to
looked
me.
at it,
Talk to me.
and I pushed it back at her.
Whew.
Because you
This
don't make
woman,
that kind of
listen,
joke with
Pastor
a-
Sharon, you give me, you're giving me all hyped.
I was like, what? She took the check and she pushed it across the table at my husband. He took a look at it and he put it in his pocket. The next day, I put a bid in and we bought a $4.2 million building. I gotta tell you this. About a week after we bought the building, I'm upstairs in what became my office, and one of the girls ran upstairs and she said, there's a real estate agent here to meet you.
Don't tell me it's the same
Oh.
one.
I said, who is it? And when she told me the name, I said, send him up. She said, he wants to buy the building. I said, send him up. And he walked in, and I was standing there, I was like, hey. He said, this is your building? I said, yes. The man up there. And that is where Hope NYC has a home today.
Wow. You know, what amazes me about this story right now is that when God sent you, when he sent you, you need to go. Don't be one of those who some were sent and some went.
Right.
Make sure that every step, the Bible says the steps of the righteous man is ordered by the Lord, and he delighted in his path. Make sure that whatever you're going to do, he's at the helm, he's at the center. My God of heaven, he's in charge. He's the one around the steering wheel. He's the captain of your ship. Woo! Pastor Sharon, I want you to look in that camera, because we have so many people out there today who are struggling because we talked about it earlier, material things, and they believe that, you know, I can't make it without a husband. I can't make it without I have a car. I can't make it without a house. I can't make it without money. I need to have the latest fashion. I can't make it without somebody being beside me. But I know the Bible said his rod and his staff, they comfort me. And I want you to look into that camera, and I want you to talk to somebody who is on the verge of giving up right now, who said, I can't take this no more. Talk to somebody for me, Pastor Sharon. Just talk to somebody.
I want to encourage you. I want to tell you something. It doesn't matter what your circumstances look like. I've always said, if it's God's will, it's God's bill. If God has sent you, then he will provide for you. Amen. And at the end of the day, the very worst that can happen is that you lose this life. But to lose this life for the name of Jesus is such an honor. But I'm here to encourage you and tell you that faith, your faith, if you would begin to exercise it even now, if you would begin to put your faith in the one who walked on water and the one who calmed every storm, he is able to do for you what he did for me. He is able to do for you what he did back then. He is the same God. He is the same Jehovah God. He said he is looking for somebody to show himself strong on their behalf. Do like I did and say, God, show yourself strong on my behalf. Because I am weak, and it's when I'm weak that his strength is made perfect. His strength is made perfect in your weakness. Whatsoever you need, if that's your weakness, it's the perfect opportunity for God to become your strength.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, Pastor Sharon. For tickets to the Just Shall Live by Faith, email us at justlivebyfaith8@gmail.com or call us at 904-352-7369. We would love to.